There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by the system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork, and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later, because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it. You and I are not in the big club. By the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long, when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged, and nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. You know? And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on. The fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
Oh my God, man. Alright, man. It's low key, and I say I am Mr. Superfax. Let's have a real conversation. Armchair, if you want to hop on the live, I dropped the link. You feel me? Shout out JoJo in the building. I'm going to get straight into this first topic. We're talking about Alex Jones versus Bill Cooper in 2024. You know, shout out Armchair for sending me this link. Let's get into it, man.
Kind of ironic you're talking about black helicopters today. Me and my son were out about in town today, and my wife was here at home with the other.
So I got to go, buddy, but call me back later.
All right, brother, sure will.
Please do it. What's going on, Mr. Cooper?
Hello.
Yeah, that's one of my friends just called in. He's got an Apache over his house with camera pods and infrared taking film. We're going to play that on our TV show. This is just wonderful. We get followed around by unmarked police cars, openly taking 35-millimeter photographs of us. That's just wonderful, isn't it?
Well, it's just one other manifestation of the Nazi Gestapo police state, which is this country.
It's again, I mean, I get on this program 6 days a week, and I know how you feel when I talk to you this week. And I'm 24 years old. I'm ready to just say, screw it. Because you got these people cramming cheeseburgers in their mouths, and they love it. I mean, doesn't it ever anger you?
Well, of course it does. What angers me most is the stupidity of the vast herd of American sheeple out there that think they know something, and they don't even know what planet they're on, to tell you the truth.
No, they don't. Simple things like private banks print the money and enslave everyone. Simple things like Clinton's a transnational agent.
Shout out Armchair in the building. What's going on with your armchair?
What's up, man? I'm about to go to sleep, but yeah, what's up? I was just figuring I'd hop on for a minute and say what's up.
I appreciate it. One of the smartest people I know, Armchair Revolutionaries in the building. At this point right here, do you think Alex Jones was compromised at this point? I think he said he was in his 20s during this video.
Yes, sir.
Right,
appreciate the compliment, man. But yes, sir. I think he was an agent from the beginning, man. That's my opinion. I mean, I think that he's like a good for like when I was in my we're the same age, but when I was in my late teens in like 2009, I started listening to Alex Jones. I was like, oh, he's saying some truth. I think Alex Jones is a good like gatekeeper, but like, for example, like if you get stuck on Alex Jones, certain people like Larkin Rose, Alex Jones, Mark Passio, if you get stuck on them, you'll never like fully awaken, because waking up is a process,
That's real shit. Did somebody like send you a video of Alex Jones?
No, man, I just stumbled upon Alex Jones. I saw it actually. I think I've always had the spark of like, always felt like the main character in They Live. So I don't know why I was touched by whatever God or whatever to feel that way. But I always question, we'll just call it the event that happened in New York City in 2001. So I was questioning that because it happened when I was 10 years old. So then I saw a documentary on Netflix at the time. Netflix had just started streaming, and I saw Alex Jones had a documentary about it, and then I started listening to him religiously for, weekly after that, and then I realized that he was an agent about in like 2012. I listened to Alex Jones from like 2009 to 2012, and I realized he was an agent because I just felt that, he's giving us half truths and whole lies. So I moved on from there. And so, yeah, that's basically, and like the first, and the Zeit, even though they're not perfect, and that guy could be an agent too, but the Zeitgeist film series helped me to wake up in the early 2010s as well.
And a lot of these things you point out, like they're not even around anymore, are they?
No, like, you can't, Alex Jones still around, but he was, with that, we'll call it handy sook, he proved that he was a total agent with that psyop. So,
all right, I'm gonna play a little bit more of this clip, but I definitely wanted to ask you, what do you feel like are like the top 5 things, pieces of content or material, like top 5 pieces of content or material that a brand new, fresh out the box truther should, pay attention to, watch, consume, like the top 5 things? Obviously, Bill Cooper has to be
Bill
in there.
Cooper, right? The Zeitgeist film series, they're not perfect, but they help you wake up. Maybe just to focus on one particular issue, September Clues. That's a good one. Also, there's some BitChute documentaries on how the media they fake events. So those are all like what I recommend to a brand new person waking up. But you gotta be careful not to go down and even though David Icke says a lot of truth, I don't go into the rabbit hole of the leader or interdimensional aliens like They Live as a documentary. So I don't go into that because I don't have proof of that. No one has proof of that. So that's just a rabbit hole. So I say just stick with the stuff you can prove.
Right. But you know what the sad part is? Even when you do your research on the shit you can prove and show people, they still call you crazy. You know what I mean?
Of course. And that's like, I kind of like it's like the sheeple, equivalent of the sheeple's immune system. Like, like your body has like antibodies to kick out disease, right? Supposedly. So, but the mainstream person if you go against the mainstream narrative of any topic, you're considered you're considered a fool and a conspiracy theorist. So I mean, I was the black sheep in my family all growing up because they would ask me, what do you think about this latest shooting or latest terror event? And I'd be like, I would be like, it's bullshit. I don't, it's bull, And that's why I would basically, I'm not trying to cuss on your stream, but I basically say it's bull, So that's what, but eventually then what blew my mind, my mother is not in the wake of my level, but she started to wake up to a lot of things too. She finally woke up to, she took the JAB, but then she realized that, she felt that, she just told me, like, I felt like a fool for even taking that stuff, and I didn't take the booster. I'm like, well, at least you woke up. It's already too late. You already took the one of them, but I'm glad you woke up to something, because people, like, especially of my mother's generation, my dad's generation, they're in their 60s, so they get their information from the TV, and that's like the ultimate, information weapon. Internet is just as corrupt too, but it's like you have you can research, you can go find different things on the internet that they're scrubbing the internet now, but you used to be able to find people like Bill Cooper and the Zeitgeist film series and other people, and that would give you different perspective. But the alternative media like Alex Jones is corrupted as mainstream at this point.
Right, like you're saying, it's been infiltrated by all of these, like the Alex Jones, the Andrew.
Yeah, I mean, think
Tate.
about it. Alex Jones came on the scene in his early 20s, supposedly. I mean, he might be fake lying about his age, but the official story is he came on the scene in early 20s, and he gets a radio station, and he's not being censored talking about government secrets and conspiracies and stuff, and saying that talking about. I don't want to get channel trouble, but just talking about, I'll just stay in general, talking about JFK and stuff like that. So. How can he get on? How would he be able to get a platform if he was legit, even in the 90s, man? And he comes out of nowhere in the 90s, and he starts, ranting in Austin like that. Come on.
Right. And the first thing they start talking about in this interview is just how they can't, they just can't believe how stupid people are. And it's like, fast forward, I don't know what year this interview.
I think that interview was 98, and that was like 3 years before Bill was assassinated by the PIGs. So it was like,
so this
it's even worse now.
This was 26 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's like 26 years ago. People were upset about how fucking stupid our neighbors are, and it's just like it's gotten even worse, man. And
I was 7 years old. I was 7 years old at the time, but it's like, yeah, it's like now it's like the internet has even dumbed down the Zoomer generation even dumber. You'll see females walking around with just filming themselves to social media. You'll just see guys buried in their phones. It's just gotten even worse, where people are even more asleep, because people actually back then, I remember being a kid, you probably remember being a kid too, but maybe you grew up different, but I remember being a kid where we actually played outside, or we actually, or sometimes we would play, or, back in the 90s, man, you didn't have multiplayer and stuff. Kids would actually have to come over to your house to play the video Mortal Kombat versus or whatever, Mario Kart. You actually had to get other kids had to come over in person.
Yeah. Or you had to go to like an arcade or something like that.
I remember going to the arcade. And now I went to I lived in Germany 2 years because my dad was military. So I was like, but I remember going to the arcades in Germany, then coming back to America, and then kids would actually a little young blonde boy would come over. He was a goofball and silly, and he would do the grab ASS stuff, and we would always cut that stupid stuff out. But he actually would come over in person and play Life and Monopoly in person back in the early 2000s, man. It was a different time.
Right. And then
now kids are born with a cell phone in their hand at 5, like it's crazy.
Oh, bro, now they're playing Monopoly on the phone. Like, it's crazy. Like, these
dude, late last year I bought a helicopter drone. a little girl in my neighborhood came up to me. It's like, "Can I play with your drone?" She was like probably 6 or 5 years old, man. I'm like, these little kids already know what a drone and a helicopter drone is, and they're bold enough to ask a grown man to play with their, toy. It's like it
Right.
blows my mind how these kids are they're already watching X videos, and they're already
Yeah,
playing violent video games like Call of
yeah,
Duty.
yeah. That's kind of something I wanted to ask you too. I'm glad you brought that up because apparently they're like really, locking down on like gun content. I don't know if you saw this. They're locking down on gun content on
I've heard
YouTube.
that. I've heard that all the gun tubers, so the ones essentially just in it for the money. They're really they're getting demonetized for even just they could be channels where they don't even use profanity in their videos. They just show you a gun review. They'll get like a brand new AK or M4 or Galil or whatever, and they'll just review guns. Now, that's getting where it's to the point where they can't make money from ad revenue no more.
Right.
So it's like this they call it Hopphobia. Hopphobia is like the irrational fear of modern of weapons, period, but especially firearms. So it's like they just want to induce Hopphobia.
Wait. Somebody created this bullshit. That can't be a real. That can't be a real phobia. What's it called?
It's called Hopphobia. It came out. They coined the term about 10 years ago with gun control getting big. So it's called Hopphobia. But the root word comes from hoplon, which is Greek was in ancient Greece was the term for a soldier, and of course phobia. But they just made the term Hopphobia because famously the ancient Greeks said during the Battle of 300. The movie exaggerates things all over the top. That came out in 2008, but the real version was supposing history. The Persians said to the ancient Greeks, "Lay down your weapons, Spartans," and they said, "Come and take them." So they coined the gun community coined the term Hopphobia about 10 years ago, as a response to when you're these irrational people that just want to the extremists that want to ban all weapons or majority of weapons. They call them hoplophobes. So it's
crazy.
like,
Oh, that's
I mean,
insane.
it's insane to me. It's like double think because it's like especially these so-called left-leaning liberals, they'll be like, cops are racist and they're criminals and they're thugs, but yet only cops should have guns. Even though I feel he's a shill, Mark Passio, he had a meme of that. I saw he made that a meme a year ago, and but people like Mark Passio, all he does, he's just a shill. I still think he's a Satanist, and he shills for money. I mean, he wants Bitcoin donations, he wants monetary donations, just to rant and rave about and never get anything accomplished. So a lot of these agents, they're very infuriating because they never get anything done.
Essentially, like just the internet made it more. It just made it easier for individuals to start their own cult. Every channel is essentially a cult. You know what I mean? To a certain degree. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, think about it. If Larkin, like for example, I met with an acquaintance. I'm not going to say his name, but I met an acquaintance of mine in the city just north of me, and he was like wanted to watch. And now he has mild autism and wanted to watch Larkin Rose. And I'm like, dude, Larkin Rose, you wouldn't have 70,000 subscribers on YouTube still if you're telling real truth and a true anarchist. This guy is basically one of these hyphenated fake anarchists, anarcho-capitalists. That's not anarchy. That's still having a monetary system of control. Who's gonna in Larkin Rose version of and then what's so funny is Larkin Rose is married, so he's legally married, which means you see the hypocrisy of that. If you're legally married, that means you're married to a woman in the state. So how is that an anarchist? So
Facts.
these guys, if you just thought about it, a lot of these guys are just on the face of it. They don't even practice what they preach at all.
Jojo Bean said he shielded too close to the sun. That's hilarious.
What are you talking about, Alex Jones or which shill? There's so many.
I think Mark Passio, this guy.
Mark Passio, yeah, he's a straight up. I still think Mark Passio is still in Satanism, even though I think Anton LaVey himself was still just a low level agent that pushed that that little this bubblegum version of Satanism out on the world. You know,
Let's
he
just
was wearing devil robes and devil horns, just silliness.
let's keep it all the way real, right? Just kind of put yourself in this scenario. Say like, YouTube or these platforms allowed your channel to get to the levels of like, these alternative media, the Tim Pools and the Andrew Tates and all of these individuals, you know what I'm saying? Like you got 1 million subscribers, but you trying to wake people up, but you realize they prefer to be asleep. Like, would you quit? Or would you just say, fuck it, I'll take their money then? Like, what would you do in that situation?
That's hard to say, man, because it's I like to be a person of integrity and not be, like a certain individual that, always comes on your channel. But, I want to be that person of integrity and not just like shill for money, and actually be there for the right. I was talking to Bill Greathouse. I was like, you gotta be in it. You got to join a movement for the right reason. You can't just be, what's the point of just going right back, to being a little agent shill and you're just, you want to just hoard money. You gotta start somewhere, start waking people up or something, you can't just sit there and shill for money. You're no better than the elite themselves if you do that.
It's real shit. But they put us in a situation where it's like, they basically domesticated the fuck out of us and stole the information and the lifestyle that our ancestors, being able to take care of them damn selves. Now we can't.
Dude, but think about like Nikola Tesla. I was talking to Bill about this earlier today. Like, think about Nikola Tesla. If he was allowed to make all his inventions that he wanted to make, he would have liberated humanity, but the bankers couldn't allow that, and he died in poverty. So then, you also had like, if we had the technology of the ancient Egyptians again, or something like that, we'd be able to live like, they built better structures 10,000 years ago than we can build today. So it's like we could live so much better than the way we live now. We lived like a modern day, like feudal system of strict classes. I mean, you can't ever, you're never going to be. I think even athletes are picked. Even the black ones are, most are black now anyway, but they're picked. They're picked from certain Boule bloodlines, and then also you have even the ones like Tom Brady, a total like clown, total proves that football's rigged. The man is not athletic. He's just a pretty boy they picked to be the top quarterback. So it's just, it's a clown world. The world's a stage, and it doesn't have to be that way, but it's an artificial stage to, keep us distracted. And think about all the entertainment they come up with every day. I mean, there's always a new TV show or no stupid movie. And like, think about like Marvel Comics. They're willing to push propaganda, nonsense. They recently had a GAY female Star Wars show, and it had terrible ratings, yet they put out the crap anyway.
What was the name of it?
It was called Acolyte, which
I heard
a young
it.
the main actress is a young they get a pretty actress to play a young half black, half white girl, plays the main character on this terrible show. I mean, it's so bad it was worse than the prequels. I mean, it's so bad. The sequels are terrible in Star Wars. If you're a Star Wars nerd, you know what I'm talking about. But as bad as the sequels are, the prequels are bad. But they're not. The prequels were not on some type of agenda. The sequels had agenda in them, and they're terrible. So that's the girl. The main girl is right there on the left.
Amanda
and then,
Steinberg, OSHA.
Yep. She is she's half JEW and half black.
Okay. It says Sith Acolyte was a rank within the Sith Order prior to Darth Bane's reformation. I don't know. You know what's crazy? I've never watched Star Wars ever. I know.
Okay. Wow.
You never watched I've never watched anything, dog. Like,
well, hey, man. I mean, Yeah, I don't. At this point, there's no point in watching it now. Definitely don't. If you don't ever watch Star Wars, I could send you a copy of the original movies and the original before the original format of them. But I would say watch the originals and don't ever watch anything else. If you're gonna ever watch them, just say before before it's just a bucket list. Watch it, even not in the sci-fi, to see what the hype is about, and you'll be like, okay, this. You might say this sucks, but to watch it, know what we're talking about. But I mean, it's like.
I remember there's a Mandela effect though when it comes to like they were talking about Luke, I am your father or something. They changed it or some shit like that.
It's one of those things, but I think that could be just people there's been the most craziest Mandela effect to me. I'm putting on my mic. I'm just talking to my phone directly, but I'm gonna put in my mic and my phone. But it's the most craziest Mandela effect, in my opinion, was the Wizard of Oz. The Scarecrow had a revolver in the original Wizard of Oz, and it's a blink and you miss it moment. You can look at it right now. The Scarecrow and Wizard of Oz, I think when they're in the forest fighting, running from the flying monkeys, he has a revolver.
Wait, what the fuck?
It's the craziest Mandela effect I've ever seen.
Yes, this was on Reddit. They got a Mandela effect Reddit. Oh man, that's a whole rabbit hole right there.
There's a Mandela effect movie.
Oh shit, he does have a revolver in his hand. What the hell?
Yeah, dude, that's the craziest Mandela effect, because that's not just people misremember. Because it's very easy for I grew up watching Star Wars since I've been like 8 years old, but it's easier. It's always been, and it's been misquoted in other movies and cartoons where it says, "No, Luke, I'm your father." But you go back and watch it, he does say no. He said no. I think he said something. Luke, join me and we can rule the Empire. Because in Star Wars, there's an evil empire, and Darth Vader is the second in command of the evil empire in Star Wars. But then he says, "No, I am your father."
What, bro? What the fuck? So where the fuck did the revolver come from?
He pulls it out of his Scarecrow pants, man. It's out of nowhere, and it's a blink and you miss it moment. That's why we don't remember it. Wow. Whether Mandela effect is actually happening, it's a blink and you miss it moment. But it became kind of viral about 10 years ago, in Mandela effect circles, man. It became kind of viral about 10 years ago in Mandela effect circles, because it's like, what the heck? If he had a gun, he could have just shot the flying monkeys, right?
Hurricane said there's a deleted midget hanging at the end of Wizard of the Oz too. I didn't see that.
Wow, I didn't know that. I didn't know that one either. I discovered the Scarecrow had the blim blam back 10 years ago.
So I've been going down this I'm having some health issues and shit, right? So I've been going down this juicing rabbit hole. This shit is basically a big ass cult. This whole juicing shit, bro. It's crazy, bro. These people are literally making careers off social media just by blending fruits and shit. It's
There's
crazy.
a Netflix movie that came out about 15 years ago with a fat guy lost 50 pounds. He made a documentary called "Sick and Tired and Nearly Dead."
I think somebody
that kind of kicked off the juicing craze right there.
Yeah, bro, they want $500-$600 for a fucking juicer, dude. It's insane. For the top one right now, it's called a Nama J or some shit, Nama J2 or some shit like that. But it's a former veteran. What do you do health wise? Do you still work
I do
out?
I still work out, but I also, I don't want to advertise for this company, but I do this, especially in the first of the month when I get paid. I do I order these healthy meals online. But since I'm not getting endorsed by, I'm not going to say the name of the company.
I think I know what you're talking about, though.
Because there's different types, but the one I used, they give you the meal. It's kind of like MREs except fresher. So they give you the meals, they'll give you chicken and
morning green juice. This is cucumber, kale.
They'll give you chicken and mashed taters and green beans. You just throw it in the microwave for 5 minutes and you're ready to eat it. And they're pretty tasty considering they're shipping the stuff from miles away. But and they send it with it's never frozen. It's sent with dry ice on top of it. The pancakes are pretty good too. But that's typically how I eat, kind of healthy. Other than that, then I sometimes eat wrong and I just eat fast food and I know it's wrong, but I'm saying like they're killing us anyway, so I'm like, for whatever.
Where Brittany said my dad was all about the juice and shit. He was nuts about that stuff. I think I would see me like I can't afford a $500 juicer, bro. So I just went to the grocery store and bought a whole bunch of like cold press, juices that's already made and shit. I can't afford $600 for a fucking. I can't do it, bro. Like that's
Yeah, exactly, man. That is a lot of money to shell out just for a high tech blender.
Exactly. I did want to play this clip real quick while I got you here because we are, they keep telling us we're approaching World War III. So I think this clip is kind of, might be relevant.
Can you just give us the?
And then I didn't even know, bro. I didn't even know. Tucker Carlson was a intern for the CIA. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Most news anchors are. Anderson Cooper as well.
Right.
Anderson Cooper was he was. I think he actually became fully CIA before he even joined CNN.
Check this out real quick.
The baseline condition of health in the United States.
Absolutely. So the word I used earlier, destroyed, is not hyperbolic in any way, shape, or form. 74% of American adults now are overweight or obese. Close to 50% of children are overweight or obese. 120 years ago, when someone was obese, there were case reports written about it.
Yes.
Literally, there were people in the circus if you had obese.
Sideshow fat. Yeah, it was so unusual.
It was so unusual. It is now 74% of our country. 77% of young adults are unfit to serve in the military because of these issues like obesity. Now let's talk about diabetes. 50%, a full 50% of American adults have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, which is a fundamental issue in how
half the country,
Tucker, have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, and 30% of teens now have prediabetes. This was a condition that no pediatrician would have seen in their lifetime 50 years ago. 1% of Americans in 1950 had type 2 diabetes. We have 18% of teens with fatty liver disease, a disease that used to be in late stage alcoholics. Cancer rates are skyrocketing in the young and the elderly. Young adult cancers are up 79%. And this is the first year in American history we're estimated to have over 2 million cases of cancer. 25% of American women are on an antidepressant medication. 40% of 18.
What do you think? Is this like eugenics at work or obviously depopulation strategy?
Yeah, and they in America we lack exercise, and they definitely push, and the food is the typical fast food joint, and people to eat too much. Typically, most people need to eat just the kids' meal, and the kids are eating the kids' meal, and that's typically what an adult male should be eating in one sitting. So it's like typically like people are going to burger joints and getting the damn the fork patty thing and not exercising. You got to exercise, and you got to reduce the unhealthy calories, and so that's what's promoted in America. Everything, and you'll notice with the most fast food joints, they have red in somewhere in their symbols, whether it's Mickey D, Wendy's, they have red in their symbols to trigger a subconscious mind to be hungry. And then for example, and then Arby's has kind of a phallic symbol, and look, it's supposed to be a hat, but it's clearly a phallic symbol subconsciously.
Year-olds have a mental health diagnosis. We have the highest infant and maternal mortality rate in the entire developed world, despite spending 2x on infant and maternal care than any other country. So you have a higher risk of dying as a woman giving birth in America than any other developed country in the world. Autism rates in kids are 1 in 36 nationally. This was 1 in 1,500 in the year 2000, and the screening has not changed in California, where I live.
I just want to linger on that. And the screening has not changed. So
in 20 years,
the definition hasn't changed.
No, 1 in
the incidence has
32
changed.
from 1 in 1,500 in California. 1 in 36 right now. It was 1 in 1,500 in California. It's 1 in 22. One of the worst states in the country for autism. So this is just a smattering.
What the hell?
And all of these conditions. I mean, and I could go on and on. Autoimmune diseases, infertility is at peak rate.
You know, I just don't understand how it's like, okay, this is, you know, important information, but people still, they just allow these corporations and all of this, you know what I mean, to keep poisoning us. Why do people, like, why does the country, the citizens of this country keep allowing that, when I'm hearing that in other countries, a McDonald's, half the shit that's in the McDonald's over here and fast food over here, the chemicals in this food, it's not even allowed. It's illegal in other countries. So why do Americans still allow this shit, bro?
Remember, like Rumsfeld, the guy under Bush, he allowed aspartame to be unregulated, and which is bacterial waste material. It's bacterial waste products, and he allowed that to be the main sweetener in diet drinks. So whereas Diet Coke, Diet Pepsi, whatever, it's super unhealthy for you, and it causes it. Every time I drink like aspartame in a soda, it gives me a headache. It's so unhealthy for you.
Wow. Yeah.
And
yeah,
I mean, at least Splenda supposedly is made with plant products. But you'll never, but everything is poison. We never know what they are really making it out of. But we know for a fact aspartame is bacterial waste products. They just recycle and use it in sweeteners. So it's just pure poison.
Unbelievable, bro. I was because like I said, I've been trying to really try to understand how the body is supposed to be working. Like, I'm 33 years old and I'm just trying to I didn't damn near destroy my fucking body, and now I'm trying to repair it, you know what I mean? And it's like just by eating shitty fucking food. But I googled how much sugar are we supposed to intake in a day. This fucking Google told me for a man I think it was 35 or 36 grams a day, and for a woman it was 25 grams a day. Yo, I grabbed the fucking one of those naked smoothie drinks or whatever. It's 56 grams in one. It's enough.
Yeah, man.
Sugar for a
After
day
breakfast, in America especially, after you eat breakfast, say you go to Mickey D and get a pancake breakfast. By the time you eat the syrup and you put jelly on a biscuit and you eat some nasty eggs covered in fake cheese. By the time you finish a typical American finish breakfast, they've already gone over their daily calories and their daily sugar and salt intake. That's how bad it's got.
Dude, it's insane. So you gotta be so disciplined, and it's ridiculous, dude.
And we're not I've gained weight since I left the military because I'm not exercising that to the level of intensity. But one thing that is as terrible as the military is, one thing good, that daily exercise does promote health, but then they're getting ready to sacrifice you in these wars of aggression for bankers. So it's that is crazy. But and then also the zesty thing going on there. It's we Americans, typical but one thing bad about just being just straight civilians is civilians typically don't work out. The only people, occasionally firefighters might work out, but most of them, they don't even work out. Most of them are big and fat, and they're gonna save you when there's a fire, especially the small redneck towns, even bigger cities. Most firefighters are out of shape. So, and then they're not going to save you. Most police are big and fat swollen on donuts. You have skinny ones, and then it's either with cops, either they're super skinny or they're obese. And so it's but they're just complete clowns, and they're not here to save anybody but write tickets and make bullshit arrests. But
let me tell you a story real quick. I was at work last night. It was probably 3-4 o'clock in the morning. And this black dude, just a regular dude, he walks up to me and he just asked real nice. He was like, you have a cigarette? I could, whatever I could have or whatever. And I was like, oh, I told him I don't smoke. And then he just like, okay. And he just walked away. 10 minutes later, 2 fucking police cars roll up and they asking me. They're like, they pull up and they're like, was there a guy out here asking for cigarettes and money? And me being the person that I am, okay, I don't fuck with these Illuminati henchmen and shit. I was like, I don't know what the hell you talking about.
Yeah, there you go, man. Because if the guy didn't hurt you, why are you gonna give him up? Like, why are you gonna snitch on a guy that didn't hurt you? Now, if he had robbed you, if he had pulled out something and robbed you, of course, go. You gotta tell the crooks, the crooked coppers that. But if the guy just asked for something, you didn't have it, and he walked away, why would you even tell on the guy unless you found his crime was hurting innocent children or something, or women or something, or innocent even men. Like, unless the guy did something you know for a fact he did something heinous, why would you snitch on him?
And I'm just like, I didn't know it was illegal to ask for money. I've been really.
Well, they've been cracking down even down here in the South. They've been cracking down, or they've been arresting homeless panhandlers in the South now. They just been, and the media, the mainstream media didn't cover it, but they roughed up. I think late last year they roughed up a homeless white guy that was panhandling. So even though I don't like panhandlers, it's still like everyone has supposed to have civil rights. But that the Constitution went out the window. I mean, officially went out the window in 2001, and we know why. But remember, America was incorporated officially in 1871, and this before years, almost over 100 years before we were even born. America was incorporated in 1971 after the Civil War. So we've been under corporate dictatorship for 120 years. So it's like it's getting now. It's been going on 150 years now. But it's like, yeah, it's gotten bad, man. It's like in the Constitution is a piece of paper. I mean, I've been. A friend of mine jokes that the Constitution is just a con job because it doesn't apply. I mean, these crazed crooks don't care about the Constitution. Go ask them. I mean, go ask them if you have civil rights. They're gonna say no.
That's real shit.
It's all about officer safety now. It's all about officer safety. They can have the right to kill you and arrest you for officer safety.
Well, that's what Trump was talking about, offering these motherfuckers immunity, right?
Indemnify and give them even more authority. So it's gonna be. I know you never seen Star Wars, but it's gonna be like the original Star Wars trilogy, where it's gonna be that bad. Where in the original Star Wars trilogy, you have an evil empire that has a bunch of their equivalent of soldiers and police are called the Stormtroopers. Yeah, it's gonna be like that.
Oh my god, bro.
Or it's gonna be like 1984 on steroids, where in 1984 he introduced George Orwell. Was his pseudonym, and he introduced the concept of thought police. Their average neighbor is a thought police person,
right.
is like a thought policeman, and then they actually have their uniform police are actually come and arrest you once you have an anti-state mentality. If you even write in your journal, or you talk on the phone with a friend or acquaintance and say, I don't like the government, they come and arrest you in 1984, because that was trying to show you where we were headed. And that book came out in 1948, and it's getting more true now every day.
It's real shit, man.
Like it's a manual. Like they're using 1984 and Brave New World and They Live and as a manual.
This is now we kind of got to be careful with our language, because even though we grown men that's tax-paying citizens, whether it be voluntary, involuntary, we're apparently not allowed to talk about what's going on in the world. But they're saying they're declaring a mpox outbreak, a public health emergency, right in time for the election and all of this shit.
That's when they ramp up things, man, on 10 for every election cycle. I mean, that's what remember the C word came out right before the 2020 thing, so
Oh my god, it's crazy how you got to say that, like the N word, like how people say N word, you got to say the C word. This is fucking crazy,
Exactly. I
man.
gotta act like a white liberal when they say the N word, you know. So
And then they just had the social security numbers had 3 billion social security numbers apparently hacked. But I think they said the hacking group, the name of the hacker group was the US DOD. And isn't doesn't that kind of stand for the Department of Defense, or couldn't it stand for
yeah,
something?
they Department of Defense. That's their acronym. But yeah, that's par for the course. I mean, I mean, we shouldn't even have a Social Security. Social Security was again brought in under, I think it was the New Deal in 1930s. Until then, we didn't. No one. You didn't even have Social Security number. So that's a whole thing. It's only been a past 100 years. Remember, they brought in the Federal Reserve in 1913, and then they brought in Social Security soon after that. So, and it's all been just a scam. And then it's like when Jack Kennedy wanted to go back to the gold standard, look what happened to him. So, it's anyone that questions anything,
Right.
you get got.
And that's what I
And
was talking
then,
to somebody. I was like, wait, because I remember when it first came out, the Mpox. I was like, wasn't that from like a gay nigga disease? Like, what? Remember that?
yeah, you gotta be careful even saying that now,
Oh
man.
shit. Oh, fucking up.
That's why Dwayne McClain calls it the YAG.
Oh man. Unbelievable, dude.
So
Unfucking
yeah, you
believable.
gotta be careful. You gotta change. On YouTube, we gotta walk on eggshells.
Yeah.
That's the way it is, man. But I mean, Rumble is like people are. I mean, I just saw a Rumble podcast uh OG Silverback did an interview on Rumble, and he was raw and authentic and cussing like a sailor. And you can say what you want on Rumble, but
Yeah.
for now, but it's like on Google Tube, you gotta be on eggshells, man. You can't just say what you want, man, or you're gonna be kicked off the platform and struck down. So you gotta be really careful what you say, because the AI algorithm is listening to you. You
Right.
say certain trigger words, you're done,
Right.
even
They're
on a live stream.
they're kind of like pushing this I don't know if you want to call it predictive programming, but they're kind of using this term mega lockdowns. Do you think this is kind of, you think people gonna go for this shit again or no?
Yes, the sheep will go for anything they feed them. They'll just tell them on the big mainstream media outlets that we got to lock down again and go under mandate again, and they're gonna go do it again, man. I mean, it's gonna be part two. It's gonna be like that soul song. Let's do it again. It's gonna be part two, man.
I'm
I'm just
watching this.
glad I'm out the military, because it was crazy up in there when it first happened. Because walk around with a mask all damn day. It's pathetic.
Man, that's ridiculous, man. This this guy Drake, man. This is really like, it's starting to feel like the end times, because all of these people that were being idol worship, content creators, celebrities, whatever, bro, the biggest ones are being like, everybody's being canceled except this motherfucker from Toronto, man. Like, I was watching this video, and basically Drake is on this app called Monkey. I never even heard of this shit, but it's
Neither,
basically
man.
a fucking a kid app, like, you know what I mean, 13 to
Well,
19
that's
years
who
old.
listens to him, man. Even though he's been around, he's what is he, 40 now? He's been around, you know, 13 years roughly. So I mean, he's been alleged to mess with kids. So
My thing is, like, it's a lot. Why is this guy uncancelable when it's like everybody else, they going after Mr. Beast, Dr. Disrespect? I
well,
mean, the
they
list
gonna
goes.
use him as a scapegoat, but he's a half JEW, and really people get this twisted. Like I was trying to explain to my autistic acquaintance, but he couldn't understand it, because I read the book Synagogue of Satan. Still got to take it with a grain of salt, but the book Synagogue of Satan gave you an alternate uh, origin of where they came from, and they came from Central Europe. They have nothing to do with Israel at all. So they came from Central Europe, and actually Christianity came first. then they came, and then Islam came. So it's a most people think it's the other way around. It's like no, they came. They're Johnny come lately. They actually came way later, and they're just they're just Central Europeans that hoard wealth and power. So that's it. I mean, it's not like they're not special. They're not that different from the typical Johnny White boy down the street. They're just able to hoard more wealth and power than a typical white person. So that's it. That's why you look at the JW very fair, and you can't. For example, I think what's her name, Natalie Portman. She was in. You never saw Star Wars, but she was in the Star Wars prequel. She was in V for Vendetta. She's in a lot of movies, right? And you cannot tell her apart from any other white girl, but she's from Israel. Same thing. Now she has a thick accent, but the woman that plays Wonder Woman, what's her name? She looks like a guy to
He's talking
me.
about yes.
Gal Gadot, I think her name's Gal Gadot or Gal
She got
Gadot.
a strong face.
Yeah, she's real skinny, a boyish figure, like a boy with boobs. So it's like a boy with small boobs. So she's from Israel as well, and you really can't if she did, until she speaks with a thick accent. You couldn't tell her. You would think she might be like a Russian uh, Russian train station
Damn.
because you think she's just a tall European train station or something, or maybe you think very you're silly. You think it is a girl, but I think that's I think it's obvious what she uh, she's a train station to me. That's what he looks like. I mean,
I'm trying.
Dwayne said this vulgar thing. Dwayne McClain. He tries to be vulgar and silly on his channel. He says every female celebrity is a train station until I see them butt naked and do a self masturbate video. It's the only way you can tell. Because I don't think a male to female train can do that. You will be able to tell the difference because it doesn't. Their fake thing they make down there when they're post op doesn't work. So like a real woman. So I mean, the fact that Matt Walsh had to come up with a documentary a couple of years ago, even though he's a shill conservative guy, he came out with the documentary "What is a Woman," and none of these libtards can answer the question "What is a woman." It was all circular logic. It was like anyone that identifies as being a woman is a woman. It's complete insanity. Now you could be born with male genitalia and just decide you want to be a woman and you're a woman now, or vice versa too. Because supposedly, I don't know if the creature was originally born male and just went back to being male. But I think she was in some of the X-Men movies. She's been in a lot of movies, and she recently, I think a couple of years ago, she went from Ellen Page to Elliot Page. I don't know if you heard about that one.
Yeah. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, so that was crazy, and it just looks like, but she does look. I mean, you gotta say she does look like a little boy. I mean, now completely that she cut her hair short and took a little bit of steroids and got more muscular and cut off her small boobies. Anyway, I mean,
Wouldn't it be for a plot twist? Wouldn't it be some crazy shit if that's what they were in the beginning and they're just going
that's what I
back?
was saying about it. It would make sense if it was always a male and he just went back to being a male.
Right.
He just cut off the fake estrogen induced breast and took testosterone instead, and now he looks like a skinny male, and that's always what he was. That would be the craziest. But that the fact that we're even asking that, it just shows the pure confusion they're sowing in the public with these shill celebrities. Just sowing confusion. I mean, I watched the latest Deadpool movie in theaters a couple weeks ago, and every 5 seconds he has to make a zesty joke. Every 5 seconds. I mean, at least every 5 minutes, it was like he has to make a joke about someone going in his rear end or him making love to Wolverine. It was just like the whole freaking movie. He can't he can't make. He has to make a zesty joke constantly, and it's just like it's really annoying now in modern movies, especially Marvel is the number one offender. Marvel and Disney are number one offenders. I mean, I think you probably heard recently that they're still going to be making the Snow White movie by Disney with the young. I think she's half JEW and half Hispanic Mexican actress. I think that's what she is. But and she's a complete feminazi. She had gave a terrible interview and pissed off the most of the dang country a couple of years. I think it was a year ago. She pissed off the whole country by saying that Snow White is, the prince saving a female is outdated and it's weird and it's stalkery. Is what she basically almost said verbatim. And then Disney, it was such a backlash. Disney forced her to apologize for that and really change her tone about speaking that way. But still, in the trailer for the film, remember Snow White in the original cartoon. I never really seen it. I've only seen clips of it, but in the original cartoon, I heard that she's forced to clean up for the dwarves in the original cartoon. But now, because that's too demeaning for women to clean at all, right? So now she forces the dwarves to clean for her. Watch the trailer. She forces the dwarves to clean for her, even though she broke into their home, okay, to get refuge from the evil queen in the film. So you'll watch the new trailer. You'll have she forces the dwarves to clean for her because a modern woman cannot clean. That's degrading and that's against feminism. So it's getting ridiculous now. It's getting like they've totally that's why I even said when they put the train station on Bud Light a couple of years ago, I said Bud Light doesn't need the money, so they can piss off their redneck fan base by putting on a train station. And I think most rednecks are in the closet anyway, so they're still gonna drink it anyway. But I'm saying, but they're like, yeah, they're like guys in prison. They're secretly that way, but trying to be straight. They're like, yeah, I'm mad because they put a train station on Bud Light. Like, dude, it's European culture to do that type of stuff anyway. So like, it's like apple pie. So I mean, I don't get it where they act like that. We don't do that. It wasn't like the ancient Greeks didn't. Yeah, it's like the ancient. Look up. I mean, it's not me saying this. Look up ancient Greece and ancient Rome. Male on male activity was a norm for centuries in Europe. I mean, look it up. I mean, when they came to Egypt, they cut off the heads of the female statues because they had never seen where a culture to treat women with respect. I mean, it totally blew their mind, and they took their swords and cut off the heads of some of the statues. I mean, that's why most of the statues in Egypt were solely desecrated. I mean, so because it wasn't like women just ruled over men either, but it's like women had respect. They had never seen a culture to give women respect, and that they also teach in history now that just the ancient Egypt were a bunch of Turkish people. That was founded by Turkish people, and yet, so Turkish people went to Africa and built the best structure in the world, and they just left, and all other Africans, but actual Africans are just a bunch of savages that just mistreated their women. That is not true, man, at all. So I mean, Egypt was founded by native Africans from southern Africa, and it's obvious from looking at the original founder statues of Egypt. So people just intentionalize so long, and then Hollywood did this intentionally, where they had the whole thing where Cleopatra, they got a light-skinned black woman to play Cleopatra, when everyone knows that done any history knows that Cleopatra was a Greek white lady descended of the Greek conquerors. Her grandfather was Alexander the Great's boyfriend. So, she was a white lady from Greece. Okay, so everyone knows that if you know study history at all. But they just intentionally make it confusing by making a black lady Cleopatra when clearly Cleopatra was white. I mean, they have the bust up for Cleopatra in the Louvre where she looks like a white lady because she was a white lady. So, I mean, it's just they completely lied to us about everything, and so people are just sitting there confused.
This is crazy, man. Hold on, man. Let me do this real quick, man. Shout out Armchair Revolutionary for all of this information, man. Hold on, check this out.
Message.
Dan, I left this comment up because Daniel said if you like 1984 and Brave New World, check out the Russian dystopian novel We by, I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Me either. Russian names are very hard to pronounce for
Yevgeny
American.
Zamyatin. It's called We. Okay.
I gotta check that out, man. I definitely gonna check that out, Mr. Luna. I'm definitely gonna check that out if you say it's as good as other dystopian fiction, because but it's gonna just probably be this. It's probably just gonna be the Eastern European version of 1984, which is not a bad thing. But and remember, 1984 was based on it was basically taking a mixture of communist Russia in the 40s and mixing that with Western UK and American government. Remember, in 1984, their dystopian superstate is called Oceania, which is America and UK. The book just takes place in UK, but it was George Orwell admitted that he based it on taking Soviet Russia to putting in steroids and mixing with Western governments, and that's what you got in 1984. Because actually, in 1984, they're taught such much double speak that actually they're called English socialism, but they hate socialism.
Dang.
So that's why this is double think. Is the big theme of the book, where you have two conflicting ideas in your brain at the same time.
Okay. Brittany, if you got a question, go ahead and ask it because I gotta let Armchair get up out of here. I appreciate him
I'm
making time.
about to go to bed, man. It's late.
Check this clip out real quick because going back to the Drake shit, this is who Drake is basically hanging out with. Like the clip I'm about to play, he basically is on this fucking app called Monkey App. People don't, like you were saying, people don't go outside. They making all of these quote unquote friends on the internet now and the metaverse and shit. But Drake basically bought this girl a lot of equipment that she uses to do shit like this.
Either that or something might be wrong with you. Or you just that much of a glazer. You feel me? It's either or with me, like honestly. And I can play this video again. I'll play this video. Hold on, man.
And say that they're not live streaming.
Oh, hey girl, you are so pretty. I feel like you and I can solidify this friendship and flash each other. What do you think?
He's streaming.
No, I wouldn't get you to flash. That's rude. Hey girl, you are so pretty. How old are you?
Thank you. I'm 18.
Oh, you're so pretty. Do you want to flash each other? Hey girl, you are so pretty. I love me a BBW. Let me get a kiss. How big? Like, what size are you?
42 double D.
I've never seen that. Can I see it visually? You look thick. Can I see that jiggle?
No, but
why?
I don't know.
Can I see you doing jumping jacks, but with your shirt off and no bra? You are so pretty. Wow. How old are you?
I'm pretty too. I'm 18.
You want to zip?
Bro, can you imagine if a fucking dude was doing this shit? Can you imagine this?
Well, it's a double standard. It's almost like how the epidemic of supposedly the teachers, female teachers are taking advantage of young boys. That's cool. But if it's the opposite, if the genders are reversed, oh, he gets thrown under the prison. It's a double standard. I mean, for the last a century, they've put females on a pedestal. That's why they're so toxic today. So they can basically do whatever. You can go. They go around asking to see whether females get naked. They can go and sexually harass men, and it's cool.
That shit is modern day. Being a female is like a modern day superpower, bro.
Yeah, you're like a royalty. You're like royalty. You're like Queen of England. Every female's a Queen of England in their own mind. But yeah, dude, it's late now, man. I'm gonna get off, bro. But it was good. It's good jump on the screen with you.
Yeah, no doubt. Shout out Armchair Revolutionary. I'm gonna put his channel.
Appreciate you.
Definitely subscribe to him and show him some love, y'all. I'm gonna drop his link right here, Armchair Revolutionary, on YouTube, man. All right, I'm gonna play a little bit of this. I'm gonna be on here for probably maybe five or so more minutes, but I'm gonna play. I'm going to play some more of this. of this Alex Jones and Bill Cooper interview. And fuck it, I'll drop the link if anybody else want to jump on. No Diddy. All right.
Well, your book, Behold a Pale Horse, is well known to almost everybody that has any know-how on any of these subjects. You wrote that in 1988, did you, sir?
Well, actually, I wrote it over a period of years, back beginning in the early 80s and continuing up into about 88. I finished it, I believe, in 89. And I may have added a couple of things in 90, and then it was published in December of 1990.
December of 1990.
Mm-hmm.
How many copies are out? Quite a few?
I have no idea. It's been the #1 underground bestseller of all time with no advertising whatsoever. And people sell it on the street corners in New York City. Barnes & Noble had to take it off the shelf in their New York City bookstore because it's, by their own admission, it's the most stolen book in their inventory.
The most stolen book in their inventory.
Yeah.
Well, I know people have got tons of them around here. Why don't you tell people, sir, just basically an overview of what Behold a Pale Horse tells the public? And now it's even more incredible that so much of what you've written has come true in the last 8 years.
Yeah, every prediction that I ever made has come true, except for one. And that was only because I had not realized that they had gone as far as they have. And that prediction that I was wrong about was that Manuel Noriega could not be tried in American court and sentenced to an American prison, as he was the head of a sovereign nation and thus had diplomatic immunity, just like anyone he would send to our country to represent his country. And, of course, that certainly proved that no one in the world is safe now from the encroaching New World Order. And they can go after anybody they want to, including the President of the United States if they want to. And Americans don't understand that. They think we can go after somebody that's the head of a foreign country, but we're still safe. We're not safe. Nobody's safe anymore.
That's because the global mafia runs things, and our president's just a little drill bit that a little front man, a little pitch man. Hello, sir?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. My wife.
I understand. Well, I know you're, we'll get into what's been going on there in Arizona a little bit later. I really appreciate you taking out the time to do this program with your busy schedule. Where do you think things are going to be in the next 2 years?
Well, either Americans are going to wake up and they're going to stand up in unison and take up arms and challenge the federal government to step back within the boundaries of the Constitution, or there's going to be a civil war in this country. The only alternative to that is total enslavement of the entire human race on a global scale, because that's where this is going. This is all about a one-world totalitarian socialist government. It's about destroying all existing nations.
What's up? What's up? We got Dan in the building. What's going on, Dan?
Low-key. What's up, man?
How you feeling, bro?
I'm all right. It's late. It's like fucking almost 5 o'clock in the AM.
What you feel like talking about, man? We talking about this Bill Cooper, Alex Jones situation. Can you tell us about real quick? Can you tell us about that the we?
It's similar to I'd say it's more Brave New World than 1984, but it's like, oh shit, like there's no like all the houses, they have open windows and shit. It's like, it's weird. It's real weird. It's like it's total, like, because communist Russia, it was written in communist Russia, and so it's all like very socialist. It's very like everything's open, everything's like you're not allowed to marry, but you're supposed to like date freely and shit. It's fucking weird. It's real weird. I don't know. I think it goes with that whole rainbow fucking agenda and shit.
All right, okay. We also got Mr. Fuck the Government in the building.
Who's that?
Hurricane is in the building. But yeah,
we doing?
I didn't want to interrupt you, Dan. You got it. Keep going.
But yeah, it's like it's Brave New World on like socialism steroids. It's fucked up. But it was banned in Russia for like years and shit. And then after supposedly the wall went down and Russia wasn't communist anymore, that's when it got fucking released. But whatever. It's a really good book. It's a short read. It's only like 100 pages or something. It's good. It's good.
Got you. Hurricane, what's going on with you, man?
Yeah, chilling.
I
I
watched
was
your
still
video
up.
the other day on the Gang Stalker.
Oh man, dog. Nigga, dog, that shit fucked me up, man. I was a little upset and kind of happy at the same time because it's a slave job. So I was like, man, but still though, like it was just the level of activity. Like, damn. Like this is on high levels of activity, like red alert, like nigga. If I had my blammer, I just would have started blasting everybody. Allegedly.
It's the energy outside, bro. I don't know, Dan. Where you from? If you don't mind,
I'm
or you could just say the
about
state.
halfway between Detroit and Toledo.
Oh,
I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Holy shit, nigga, you close. I'm in Detroit.
I know. I've seen some of your videos. I know.
the reason.
I like that one video you were checking out the Masonic Temple and shit. I like that. That was cool.
Oh yeah, yep. I was letting people know like that was the biggest Masonic temple in the world,
Oh
not just
yeah,
the nation, the world, Craig.
for sure. It ain't nothing to joke about. No.
It's a fucking castle. I'm like, I know exactly what I'm grabbing as soon as the shit hits the fan.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
I ran for the hills a while back. I'm in the middle of nowhere though.
You good, you safe, you off grid.
Yeah, a little bit.
Real shit, and you free.
I mean, I'm in Monroe, which is a big, small city.
What was the lockdown like in your area, Dan? Like, were they out there? Like, were you not allowed to go
Oh,
outside? What was it like?
I was told to wear a mask. I work at the airport, so I had to wear a mask at work and shit. But I never wore a mask anywhere other than work. It was funny. 2 times when I was at like my local Meijer, which is like a Walmart if you don't have them where you're at. But I was at my local Meijer, and 2 times I ran into this old lady. The only other person that didn't wear a mask was this old lady. She's like probably 80. Fucking, she's like, I ain't falling for this shit either. But everybody else was wearing masks at Meyer, everywhere you went, everyone was wearing masks still. I mean, yeah, it was everywhere. It was everywhere.
But did they like did when you went to work or something? Did they have like checkpoints, or did you have to have like a piece of paper that said you were an essential worker or anything like that?
No. I mean, as I said, I work at the airport. We were shut down for a long. Like I didn't work for like 8 months the first time, and then like 6 months the second time. Like, yeah, I didn't work for a minute there.
That's crazy as hell. Like, how did you make a living? That's insane.
I mean, they were giving us money, but it wasn't what I was used to making. But I mean, fuck, I went through some savings, that's for sure.
It's crazy. What about you, Hurricane? During the lockdown, were they kind of like policing people's movements over there where you at, or?
Shit, man. During lockdown, I kind of went through the same shit he did. I had to motherfucking dip into that savings. And Same with the job. I only wore when I was at work. But like I was watching people act crazy, get in the fights, like put on your mask and all this shit. I'm like, man, nigga say something. I got this nigga head off. But they put up the signs and the 6 feet shit. They was getting people to talk to motherfuckers at jobs and shit. They was coming up there talking to people while they was working. But the dude was like, "You want to take?" I was like, "Nope, I'm good." I was like, "Is this gonna affect my job?" I was like, "No, you straight." I was like, "Bet." Because if it was, I was gonna quit right here, drop my broom and dustpan, and walk the fuck off. The real shit.
Right.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna lose my job because I wasn't gonna take that fucking jab for nothing. And at one point, they were getting serious, asking us if we fucking had the jab and shit. There was like 4 of us. We were like, we ain't fucking taking it. Like we'll fucking fight. But like what are we gonna do? You know, fucking 4 of us against the fucking airport. Like, get the fuck out of here. Just gonna lose our fucking job. That's it. It was fucking ridiculous. Like the very end of it, I thought was the worst. Like when they were letting us back to work and they were like questioning, like first of all, that's like completely illegal. You can't ask people about their fucking medical history, you know, and they no shame in their game. They're just, yeah, they're just, you didn't take the jab. Are you gonna go take it? We need to know, like, who the fuck? You don't know. You don't need to know about anything I done, you know?
That's a fact. Yo, and every time I go to the doctor, that's the first thing they ask me. Do you have do you have that government dope? That experimental
You got that black goo in your blood.
it's like all of these diseases, all of these illnesses, and that's the first one. It's like almost as if that's the only one that fucking exists. You know, it's the first question they ask you. Do you have this? And I'm like, bro, no, stop asking me this. Like, what the fuck? It's insane.
It's fucked up. I just I don't understand like how, like I never realized like how fucked up my parents were, like deep into this shit. Like I always knew they were a little bit like, I don't know what you want to say, like materialist or whatever you want to call them, but like when my parents were fucking bugging me on that shit, like that, to me, like I never knew they were that brainwashed. Like I knew they were a little brainwashed all along, but I never knew.
Right.
It's fucked up. It's fucked up.
I got this clip I want to play, man. You know, in my top 5 right now, Whitney, I want to say her name is Whitney Webb.
Oh, can I stop you for a minute?
Oh, shit.
You're playing oh dude, the Behold the Pale Horse guy,
you talking
and
about
Alex Jones. Bill Cooper called out Alex Jones before he died, by the way.
Yeah, that's what Armchair was telling me about.
Yeah, he completely called him out, said he was total psyop, etc.
And I guess the whole thing was he was basically his replacement was Alex Jones. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, no, I'm saying like Bill Cooper, like flat out said Alex Jones was a psyop before he died.
Well, that's like how Kerry Mullis said Fauci was a fraud. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh well, yeah, totally. I mean, Fauci, the whole AIDS thing, AIDS is faking gay. You know.
Since
And
the 80s.
Fauci was like behind the whole AIDS,
but
scamdemic.
as far, but I was just saying they, because obviously he passed away, so I was saying maybe they just replaced Bill Cooper. People feel like Bill Cooper was the real deal, and maybe they got him out of there to basically, put Alex Jones in his place or whatever.
That makes sense, but yeah, I mean, shit, I don't know, shit.
They replaced Alex Jones
I
after the
don't
Hemi
wanna like, part of me doesn't want to commit to Christianity, but the more and more I look at it, like, they be killing Christians left and right. No joke.
So it's like, I notice a lot of these like people, it's like conversations between like a spiritual type person and a religious type person. Like, well, I know Hurricane ain't a religious type of person. What would you say you're more spiritual or religious?
I don't know if you ever seen the channel Static in the Attic, but he's getting into like how the God of the first Bible is not Jesus's father and shit like that. Like when Jesus says the Father, he ain't talking about the God of the first Bible. The God of the first Bible is the people with small hats God, and it's not Jesus' father at all. So I'm kind of falling in that belief, like, love Jesus, love what he had to say, love all that shit, but I don't think the people with small hats God is Jesus's father, for sure.
What's your thoughts on that, Hurricane? And if you can, come a little bit closer to the mic. No, Diddy?
Are you talking to me or Hurricane?
Hurricane.
Oh, sorry.
That's an interesting shit you came across. I never heard no shit like that before. But understanding what Jesus taught about, like, that's not my father, then we can probably go to Gnostic belief and be like, it go to the chief archon and shit, because everything would make sense, because the fucking chief archon matches up with what the God of the
A lot of
Old
shit
Testament.
falls in line if you go down that road. I didn't mean to interrupt, but a lot of shit falls in line if you go down that road.
Yeah. So I understand, but it's something I never heard before. But it do connect with what I read in the Gnostic scriptures. For sure.
Who wrote that? Like these Gnostic scriptures. Who wrote that?
The Gnostic Christians, I think they go Gnostic Christians, or maybe the Essenes. I think the Essenes. I think like that's the only name that come to mind is the Essenes.
The Gnostics were like finally wiped out in France. Like, I think like 1200s, they wiped the rest of them out. But yeah.
And then we dug them back up in the 40s, translated that shit in the 70s, and now we're back.
Well, I think Rudolf Steiner, if you ever got into any of his readings, I feel like he was pretty much Gnostic.
Oh yeah. I think I watched a guy named Bobby Hemming. He mentioned a couple of Rudolf Steiner's books.
Yeah, Rudolf Steiner, a lot of good writings from him. Yeah.
I want to play this clip real quick, man. I definitely, you put me on the Static in the Attic.
Oh, he's good. He's good. He's kind of dorky, but he's good. I like him.
Check this out. I want to get y'all top five channels in a second, but check this clip out.
All of these Trump supporters who were at the rally on Saturday in Butler, Pennsylvania. I mean, it's curious to me how many of those Trump supporters were there who, when they were filing their emails back and forth and getting their information about arriving at the rally, no bags, or here's the list of information from the Trump campaign. How many of those people have been profiled and are now in a database that is backed by Palantir in some capacity, and they have no idea that they're probably labeled as such. And it's mind-boggling to me. So all of these Trump supporters go in to support President Trump. They don't realize that in the back end, the money that's flowing in has been monitoring them and surveilling them and basically labeling them as subversives to the United States.
Yeah, well, again, we don't know the metrics that the Palantir or intelligence agencies use to determine who is a subversive and who isn't. But if in 2008 it had 3 million Americans on it, I can assure you that now in 2024 it is much larger. The amount of data that has been sucked up.
70 million now.
Everything that's happened in this country since that time. And so what really concerns me here is that people, again, are believing that this is, Trump is poised to fight the deep state in his second term, but why is he inviting these people in as donors? And not only that, considering people like Jamie Dimon of JP Morgan, who helped fleece Americans' wealth during the 2008 financial crisis and have him be Treasury Secretary. The fact that he would even consider that is frankly very disturbing.
And also you got his vice president, he was on the cross-dressing side of the game, correct me if I'm wrong, and he graduated from Yale, Skull and Bones. So I'm like, I don't understand this whole drain the swamp narrative when he's surrounded by, he employs the swamp, Donald Trump.
Right.
Oh, hold on. Remember when Rudy Giuliani dressed up like a chick and Trump was like kissing on his neck and shit? Like, get the fuck out of here.
Man, I still remember when Trump was on the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I don't remember that shit.
No, he wasn't.
No, I don't remember that shit. I remember being on WWE and shit like that.
That's the Mandela effect right there.
Fucking that shit was so gross. Giuliani was dressed up like a chick and Trump's kissing on his neck. Like, get the fuck out.
See if I could find that shit. But I just don't, you got people like Whitney Webb, right? And it's just like, I'm like, how they make great connections and they simplify it, right? For basic like people, I'm like, how is, respectfully, and I'm not wishing, but I'm like, how is she not dead? And it just shows you how much they don't care about the truth being out there because they know people not gonna mobilize and do anything. Because she's out here making brilliant connections that are very digestible for the average person. And it just seems like nobody gives a fuck. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll go to what Max Egan is one of my favorite YouTubers. Well, he ain't on YouTube no more.
Yeah,
but
he got kicked off of YouTube, right?
Yeah, but he said the World Wide Web and the internet, it's a net and a web because it's meant to trap people. So I feel like all us truthers all of us might be on a list,
I know
Like
I'm on one.
yeah, it's anyone who thinks clearly is on a list, I think.
This nigga Hurricane wrote the list. He wrote the list. He put his name on the list. He dropped it off at the police station. It's me, y'all.
Yo, those niggas got a number one, but I X they shit out and put mine up there. Like, nigga.
They want to kill me because I fucking think clearly. Fuck them. That's all they can do. I'm gonna come back bigger and better. That's all I know.
Ourselves to unconditional victory.
There's lots of buzz over Rudy Giuliani's impassioned speech at the Republican National Convention.
There's no black America. There's no white America. There is just America.
Reptilian.
Oh, this is it right here. There you go, bro. Oh, so fucking gay.
Giuliani showing his softer side dressed in drag in a comedy skit with Donald Trump.
Kissing on his neck.
16 years ago when
Oh my God.
New York for a charity dinner.
I didn't make that shit up. I've been in this truther game for a minute. That shit's old. That's look at him.
That's a thumbnail.
Vote Republican, you homos.
And
Oh man.
you know what's crazy? That's their God right there. That's their
Oh, nigga, you gotta clip that. You gotta clip that. You gotta clip that.
I ain't joking. That shit's old as shit too. What was that? Like fucking that was like after 9/11. That shit's like almost 20 years old.
Wow. Okay. This shit is crazy. And it's just crazy because it's like I never even seen that shit.
Oh shit.
Worldwide exclusive.
I've been in this truther shit for a minute.
So
Fuck.
then that's why I always say if this is what they doing in public, imagine what they doing in that basement of the lodge. You know what I'm saying?
I don't want that's Diddy activity. I ain't into that shit.
Dude crawling on all fours and shit.
I don't wanna know.
Giuliani, no.
Like doo-doo butter. Let's have a real conversation. Let's just keep it real, man.
And, I think, again, part of it goes back to efforts to sort of define the deep state as a Democrat-only entity. But again, the deep state refers to, at least in my opinion, the unelected officials that serve
If
between
this chick lost a glass, it
in
should
the
be
government.
doable.
And, sort of like the
She can drive the phone.
bureaucracy.
She can get it. I'll go for
And,
it.
as we've seen, throughout American history,
So put some respect on my cockazoid queen, okay? All right. You understand me? You understand me? Whitney Webb, that's my cockazoid queen. Straight.
She'd be
Straight
looking
from-
like that. She'd be looking like Daphne from fucking Scooby Doo.
Daphne, you get it.
Not Daphne.
they
Velma.
run
Velma.
every
Not Daphne.
administration, whether it's Democrat or Republican. And in the case of Trump, he had a first term. We can see what his policy record was. Did he stand up to the deep state on things like COVID or mass shootings or red flag laws and things like that? And I think people should go back and consider the policies and not get so wrapped up in the momentum perhaps of political campaigns, because political campaigns are sales pitches. But as we've seen throughout American history, presidents do not keep their campaign promises. If they do, they keep very few. And, unfortunately, the stakes are very high in this country. I don't think people can really continue to vote for the lesser of two evils indefinitely when they ultimately are beholden to the same system.
So I just, it's the same shit, man. Either Americans are just completely, it's been completely useless now on an intellectual level. Common sense is the well of common sense is dry. I don't know what's going on, bro, but I don't understand who can go to a ballot and vote for either of these people at all. I don't understand. It makes no sense, bro.
Fucking, I'm 47. I ain't never voted. Fuck. I saw that shit for the way it was a long time ago.
Yeah, man. And I'm 33. I never voted. If I was gonna vote, I would have voted for Obama. But my whole thing was, I was just like, I'm not about to stand in line for no nigga. Yeah, not even Jesus. I'm not standing in no line. Get the fuck out of here.
If there wasn't a line, you'd have been all in.
I can do it on, if I could do it on my if I could do it on my tracker, on my tracking device, I would have did it. But I'm glad I didn't, bro, because that's what they want. They need your participation. That's what we was talking about the other day. Like, the whole point of the game is like the only way you win is by not playing it. And these people lose every fucking day. They go ahead and vote, and then now they sitting up there and complaining about the person they voted for the next 4 years.
Well,
you know what
isn't voting like giving your authority to them? Like I don't know. That was how I always looked at it. Like, if I vote for this schmuck, I'm like fucking giving. I don't know. I feel like you're giving something. You're giving away something by voting for
your freedom.
Yeah.
And your money.
Exactly.
And your money. And your body. And, yeah, all that shit.
Yeah, I ain't never voted. Fuck them. They're all fucking. I mean, they're all in bed together. Like they ain't fighting. Like it's fucking. It's WWE for real. It's real life on the mainstream. That's all it is. Like they pretend like they're enemies and they're friends. It's silly. It's just silly.
All right, so we're gonna wrap it up in a little bit, but Hurricane, what kind of content you working on now?
Shit, I'm working on this either the Fuck the Government podcast or the HHN. I think I'm gonna do the HHN and try to be safe with it because I'm because I'm safe. I might do the Fuck the Government podcast on the other channel on the on the Hurricane JW too. But I am working on the HHN for sure because there's some crazy shit. But fuck it. Sneak preview. The motherfucker that made the new X-Men 97 just got fucking fired for doing some Diddy shit. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like the X-Men 97, like nigga, this shit was the shit, bro. How you gonna come back and extend the motherfucking storyline and make the shit more better and great? And
It was
the
good.
shit just
It was
came out.
good.
Dude got fired months ago. I'm like, why the fuck they fired this nigga? Nobody's saying shit. There's rumors going all over the place, a lot of speculation. I'm like, nigga, I ain't gonna hear fuck the bullshit. I don't want to hear nothing till the motherfucking the fucking company come out and say some shit. And he came out and said, dog, the dude was fuck it. Dude was sending pictures to the staff. Talking about this gonna give you some inspiration. And
did he rape
was
Jubilee?
motherfucking groping
That's the real
people and shit.
question.
Yeah, this nigga name, I think his name Bo DeMayo or some shit like that. Yeah, man, shit fucked up. But it's some other news too concerning about the war and shit. And I got some shit on motherfucking Kamala. And I wanted to talk about Trump bitch ass too, because Trump actually got on the fucking podium. Fuck it. Sneak peek right now. Fuck it. Trump actually got on the motherfucking podium and did what we did and made a collage of Kamala. I'm like, y'all can get away with this shit? I'm gonna let you get away with this shit. Fuck this nigga. This nigga just did what we did every fucking day. Put a collage together and show everybody. Wow. Okay, bitch. But yeah, no, I'm kind of heated about that shit. And the other news. I got some other news too, but yeah. But yeah. Y'all get that too for free.
Check this out real quick, man. They always send me this random shit to my emails and stuff. It says quantum entanglement in your brain is what generates consciousness. So I guess they're trying to understand the mind. It said for the past 30
Can I interrupt real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your soul is not in your head, it's in your gut.
And I would like to add, since they're talking about the brain, I just want to say 2 words: Elon Musk.
Yeah,
no, that's why you get like gut feelings and shit like that. Your soul is in your gut.
So like you don't think that your soul is within your third eye, or is your third eye completely separate from your soul? Like what's
probably separate. I mean, I'm not discounting the mind in any way. I'm saying your soul, your mind. Like you probably have thoughts and shit in your head, but your soul is in your gut.
On that thought, like I was thinking about the same thing a long time ago, and I was doing a lot of study. It was like, okay, spirit, third eye, soul was in the gut. I kind of came to that same conclusion. On like that third eye is like where the spirit lie, and you can see the God shit and unlock the chakras. But that soul, like we rap for the pit of your soul and shit. And I used to hear that saying go. I'm like, that also connects. I'm like, okay. I was like, all right, okay, the soul got to be in the gut.
Yeah, it centers you. It makes a lot of sense.
and like plus a lot of sense. Like when I'm in the booth, like when I'm rapping, like when I'm rehearsing, like when I'm on stage, it's like it just just like straight like come from the soul.
Oh yeah. Anytime you feel something deep, it's deep. It's in the gut. It's not in your head. Hey.
Well, yeah, that was just I listened to a lot of these near death experience videos, bro. These stories is fucking insane. But she basically said her soul came back in her body through her belly button, which was
Oh
fucking crazy.
shit!
Yeah, like she left her body and then she came back through her belly button.
No shit! I didn't even know that was coming.
I'm trying to find
Man.
his page. This guy right here. This all he does is just interview people with near death experiences. Jeff Mara podcast. Definitely check him out. You know what I'm saying? But hearing these people's stories, but my whole thing is always just like when we had a conversation of free will, why do these people always say like they said no, it's not? Somebody is basically is some sort of entity telling them it's not their time, and I'm like, if you have free will, can't you decide for it to be your time? You know what I mean?
Right. Exactly. Exactly. It's like these entities be trying to trick a nigga to go back to the physical plane.
Right.
I'm knocking out everybody. I'm knocking out everybody I see. As a matter of fact, as soon as I leave this bitch, if I don't wake up in my realm, I'm gonna just sit there and meditate. Whoever come to me get knocked the fuck out. I'm like, nigga, let me meditate in peace. I'm creating my realm right now.
Bro, because they all say it's just peaceful as hell. People I've talked to, they said they died and they went to a space and they felt just pure peace, and then they always come back. I'm like, whoa, why the fuck would you do that? I don't understand.
Right.
I don't get that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
It
even
was
when
so peaceful. I decided to come back to this hell realm. What the fuck?
I don't get it. And he like, bro, even when I go to sleep, I get pissed off when I get woken up. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yo, I get pissed off from nightmares now. I'm like, nigga, what a motherfucker. Like, what the fuck? This is a nice ass house I was in.
You fuck, listen, man. Man, I be with the baddest bitches in my dreams, dog. I be having the best life in my dreams, dude. I wake up in this bullshit.
Man, dream pocket full of money, knots. Wake up, nothing. Like, oh man, I hate this fucking shit. Pocket full of money. I'm driving the car. Well, not driving the car. Not driving like a motherfucker crashing through shit, but I'm driving though with a pocket full of cash. Man, fuck this fucking shit.
Oh yeah, last question. When is this alien invasion? Like when are y'all anticipating this alien invasion? Because that got to be on the way soon, right?
I mean, according to who's that motherfucking German rocket scientist?
Governor von Braun.
Yeah, according to his secretary, that's the end game. Yeah.
Yep.
Von Braun. Yeah, according to his secretary, that's the end game.
And to me personally, I think those motherfuckers are already here. But I feel where you coming from. Like, when we gonna pop off the motherfucking hologram show? I hope it's, like either at the end of this year or next year. But me personally, I think there's more than over 25 plus entities on this bitch as we speak, and they all conversating with the government. I mean, governments around the world over us, the motherfucking food source.
Yeah.
Or they dialing over who gonna run this bitch after the motherfucking shit hits the fan. No, bitch, I get Russia. No, bitch, I get America.
We're their loose force, not their fucking food source.
Soylent Green is people.
Yeah. But honestly, I'm more interested in 2025, that Deagle report, like 70% drop in population in the US next year. Fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Georgia Guidestone's coming to pass. That's why they blew it up. They had to get rid of the evidence. The fucking Georgia Guidestones, nigga told it all. Like, nigga, we trying to depopulate y'all motherfuckers in 14 different languages.
Like I'm gonna be kind of evil here, and I'm gonna say like, even though like 90% of people I know took the jab and shit, like I was waiting for it to kill them motherfuckers, you know?
Motherfucker was looking at his knives.
Like TikTok, what the fuck?
This motherfucker kept
Y'all
his
be,
eyes
I
on
thought y'all be dead by now. What the fuck?
God damn, it's like 3.5 years. You ain't gone yet. How many years it take?
These motherfuckers like roaches, man. You can't kill
Yeah,
them.
like what the shit?
That's that nanoparticles just got fused with their system, nigga. Now they robots. Now they can just easily get turned off or fucking hacked by something. I don't know. I think they're officially transformed. They're hybrids now.
I mean, I feel like I was lied to. Like I was told this thing was gonna kill these people. What the fuck? What they still doing here?
I was told I was gonna get taken out by some air particles. I'm like, this nigga sleeping outside for over 10 years. Nothing has happened to this guy yet. Like, come on now.
No, global warming's gonna take us out. It's not the coronavirus no more. It's global warming.
Al Gore and his shenanigans, huh?
I mean, the boogeyman's always there. The boogeyman don't sleep. Fuck.
Global warming, more like global funding. Like, nigga, let's keep promoting this shit and get paid. Like, these niggas wildin', bro.
Oh shit.
With that, man, I appreciate everybody chiming in on the conversation. Shout out Armchair Revolutionary for pulling up. Shout out Dan in the building. Shout out, Mr. Fuck the Government pulling up, and everybody in the chat, man. Last words, final words, Dan.
Shit, I ain't got nothing.
Like, survive, motherfucker. Yo. Shit,
Run to the hills. Run to the hills. That's all I gotta say. When it happens, get the fuck out of big cities. That's all I'm gonna say.
Shit.
What about you,
shit, final words, shit. Catch me on Instagram. I'm in Instagram jail now for a comment. I don't know what the fuck. Some bullshit. But I'm on Instagram, Hurricane.2029. Facebook, Hurricane JW, YouTube, Hurricane JW, and Hurricane JW2. That's the second channel. And TikTok at Hurricane6. Fuck TikTok. And I'm on Rumble at Hurricane_JW3. And shit. Be on the lookout for some motherfucking Fuck the Government podcasts, some HHN, and some more music. Oh yeah, I forgot I am working on some music too. And shoot, that's it.
All right, man. Salute, man. We'll catch you on the next one, man.
Salute.
All right, peace.
Bitches ain't shit but hoes and tricks. Lick on these nuts and suck the dick. Get the fuck out after you're done and hop into my ride and make a quick run. Bitches ain't shit. Man, fuck these bitches. So lick the nuts and suck the dick.